I am going to tell you something that I have never told anyone. Not my mother, not my boys, not the therapist the court made me see. On the night of September 11th, 2020, I sat in my work van in the parking lot of a Home Depot in Atlanta, Georgia. It was 11:43 at night. I know the exact time because I was staring at my phone, staring at a text from my wife that said 4 words. Don't bother coming home. 8 hours earlier, I had a house. I had 2 sons. I had a life that I had spent 14 years building with my bare hands. By midnight, I had a work van, a duffel bag, and a restraining order that said I could not go within 500 feet of my own front door. My name is Marcus. This is what happened next. I need to take you back so you understand what she took from me. I grew up in Decatur. My father was a maintenance man for an apartment complex. My mother cleaned houses. We did not have money, but we had structure. My father used to say, Marcus, a man is only as good as what he builds with his hands. And I believed him. I still believe him. I got my electrician's license at 22. I was pulling wire for a contractor in Buckhead by 23. By 25, I had my own van and my own clients. Nothing fancy. Ceiling fans, panel upgrades, rewiring old houses in East Atlanta. Honest work. Good work. I met Danielle at a cookout in 2006. She was smart, funny, had a laugh that made the whole room turn around. We got married in 2008. Cameron was born in 2010. Jalen in 2012. I bought us a house in Stone Mountain, 3 bedrooms, a backyard, a 2-car garage I turned into my workshop. For 12 years, I woke up at 5:30 every morning. I drove to job sites in the dark. I came home smelling like copper and drywall dust, and I sat at the dinner table with my boys and asked them about school. Every single night. I was not a perfect husband. I will tell you that right now. I worked too much. I missed things. I forgot our anniversary once and she did not talk to me for a week. But I never raised my hand. I never raised my voice. I never disrespected her in front of my kids. That is the truth, and I will say it under oath today the same way I said it then. What I did not know was that while I was out wiring houses 6 days a week, Danielle was living a completely different life. September 11th, 2020. I came home from a job in Marietta. My van pulled into the driveway and there were 2 DeKalb County Sheriff's deputies standing on my porch. Danielle was inside. The boys were inside. I could see Cameron looking at me through the blinds. They handed me a piece of paper that said I was accused of domestic violence, that I had threatened Danielle, that the children were in danger. I remember reading it, and my hands started shaking because none of it was true. Not one word. The deputy said, "Sir, you need to collect some personal items and leave the premises." I said, "This is my house. I pay the mortgage." He said, "I understand, sir, but this is a court order." I grabbed a duffel bag, some clothes. My tools were already in the van. Cameron was 9 years old. He was standing at the top of the stairs and he said, "Dad, where are you going?" And I could not answer him. I physically could not make words come out of my mouth. I just pointed at him and nodded, like I was telling him, "I will be back." But I did not know if that was true. I slept in my van that night, and the next night, and the next night. For 3 weeks, I slept in the parking lots of Home Depots and Walmarts across Metro Atlanta because they do not tow you if you stay in your vehicle. I showered at the YMCA on Memorial Drive. I ate gas station food for breakfast and Waffle House for dinner when I could afford it. I could not call my boys. The restraining order prohibited contact. I could not go to Cameron's baseball games. I could not take Jalen to his tutor on Tuesdays. I could not exist in their lives. And every morning I had to put on my work boots and go wire somebody else's house like nothing was wrong. Because if I stopped working, I could not pay the mortgage. And if I stopped paying the mortgage, the house would go into foreclosure. And if the house went into foreclosure, The court would say I could not provide a stable home. And if the court said that, I would lose my sons forever. So I worked. I worked 16-hour days. I wired houses until my fingers bled, and I slept in a van, and I said nothing to nobody. The temporary hearing came 3 weeks later. The judge awarded Danielle temporary custody and temporary use of the marital home. She got the house I paid for. She got the car I put the down payment on. She got my sons. I got supervised visitation every other Saturday for 2 hours. 2 hours. Every 14 days. With a stranger sitting in the corner watching me talk to my own children. I want to tell you the moment everything changed. It was a Saturday in October. My supervised visit. Cameron and Jalen were sitting across from me at a table in a family services office. Jalen was drawing. Cameron was quiet. Too quiet for a 9-year-old. Then Cameron looked up at me and said, "Mom says you are not coming back. She says you do not want us anymore." That sentence rewired my brain. I felt something shift inside me that has never shifted back. I was not angry. I was past angry. I was in a place where the only option left was to fight so strategically and so patiently that when the truth came out, there would be no question about who I was and what kind of father I am. I rented a 1-bedroom apartment in Clarkston. It was small. The carpet was stained. The dishwasher did not work. But it had a second room I could turn into a bedroom for my boys. I bought 2 twin beds from a thrift store and set them up. I put their names on the wall with those stick-on letters from Target. I wanted it ready for the day the court let them stay with me. Then I found a lawyer. Her name was Patricia Okonkwo, family law attorney in Decatur. She was the 4th lawyer I called. The first 3 told me the same thing. They said in Georgia the mother almost always gets primary custody. They said with a restraining order on your record, you are fighting uphill. They said realistically, you should aim for joint custody at best. Patricia said something different. She said, "Marcus, tell me your side." So I did. And when I was finished, she said, "Do you have evidence?" I said, "What kind?" She said, "Any kind." That is when I started building my case. I went through my phone. I had 2 years of text messages. Messages where Danielle talked about spending money we did not have. Messages where she canceled on the boys. Messages where she asked me to pick them up from school because she was busy. Busy doing what? I did not know at the time. Patricia hired a forensic accountant. His name was Gerald. Gerald found everything. In 18 months, Danielle had moved $47,000 out of our joint account into a personal account I did not know existed. Credit card statements showed shopping sprees, hotel stays, restaurant bills for 2 on nights she told me she was at her sister's house. Then Patricia subpoenaed phone records. And that is when the whole story fell apart. Danielle had been in a relationship with another man for over a year. The texts showed they had planned the restraining order together. She had searched online for how to file a protective order in Georgia 3 weeks before she filed it. She had texted him, "Once he is out of the house, we can figure out the rest." She manufactured the entire thing, the accusations, the fear, the emergency, all of it. To get me out of my own house so she could move on with her life with my mortgage paying the bills and my sons calling another man by his first name. But I did not react. Patricia told me, "Marcus, do not say a word about this to anyone. Not your mother, not your friends, not Danielle. We are going to let the evidence speak in court." And that is exactly what we did. The final custody hearing was in June of 2021, 9 months after I slept in my van for the first time. I walked into that courtroom wearing a suit I bought at Men's Warehouse with cash I saved from overtime jobs. I had a binder in my hand that was 4 inches thick. 4 inches. Every text message, every bank statement, every phone record, every screenshot, every receipt. 4 inches of truth. Danielle walked in with her attorney. She was wearing a white blouse. She looked confident. She had been confident for 9 months because the temporary order was in her favor, and she assumed the final order would be too. That is how it usually works. That is what the statistics say. But Patricia was not interested in statistics. The first thing Patricia did was present the forensic accounting report. She walked the judge through every dollar. $47,000 moved to a hidden account. $6,000 in hotel charges, restaurant bills on Tuesday and Thursday nights. The judge's face did not change. Judges are trained not to react. But I watched her eyes, and her eyes were reading every line. Then Patricia presented the phone records. She did not rush. She read certain texts out loud. She read the one where Danielle's boyfriend said, "Just file the order, and he is gone." She read the one where Danielle searched how to get a restraining order without evidence. She read the one where Danielle told her boyfriend, "The house is basically ours now." Danielle's attorney objected 4 times. The judge overruled every single one. Then Patricia called a child psychologist who had been appointed by the court to evaluate both households. The psychologist testified that during her visit to my apartment, Cameron told her, unprompted, that his mother had told him his father did not love them anymore. The psychologist testified that this was a textbook case of parental alienation. Danielle was asked to take the stand. Her attorney tried to redirect, but the judge had questions of her own. She asked Danielle directly, "Did you fabricate the allegations in the protective order?" Danielle said no. The judge asked, "Then how do you explain the text message sent to your partner 3 weeks before the filing that reads, 'Once he is out of the house, we can figure out the rest'?" Danielle started crying. The judge took a recess. 45 minutes. I sat in the hallway on a wooden bench, and I did not move. I did not check my phone. I did not speak. I just sat there and breathed. When we went back in, the judge read the ruling. She said that the evidence overwhelmingly demonstrated that the restraining order was obtained under false pretenses. She said the financial misconduct was egregious. She said the parental alienation was deeply concerning and harmful to the children. She awarded me full primary custody of Cameron and Jalen. She awarded me exclusive use of the marital home. She ordered Danielle to pay my legal fees in the amount of $31,000. She referred the restraining order matter to the district attorney for potential criminal investigation into filing a false report. I did not celebrate. I did not smile. I sat in that chair, and I put my hands over my face, and I cried. Not because I won. Because it was over. Because my boys were coming home. The first night my boys slept in their own beds in that house. I stood in the hallway between their rooms and I listened to them breathe. Cameron was 11 by then. Jalen was 9. I had missed a year of their lives. Birthdays. First days of school. Jalen lost his first tooth, and I was not there. You do not get that time back. Nobody gives it to you. No judge can order it returned. It is just gone. But I will tell you what I got. I got every morning since. I got breakfast before school. I got homework at the kitchen table. I got Cameron making the middle school basketball team and me being in the bleachers when he scored his first basket. I got Jalen asking me to help him build a go-kart in the garage and us spending 4 weekends covered in grease and sawdust. I got my life back. Not the old one. A better one. A quieter one. One built on the truth. Danielle has visitation every other weekend. She moved to an apartment in Kennesaw. I do not speak badly about her in front of my sons. I never will. They love their mother, and they should. What happened between us is between us. My job is to be their father. That is my only job now. My business is doing better than ever. I have 3 guys working for me now. We do commercial jobs. I just signed a contract with a property management company that handles 60 units. I am not a millionaire. I am not famous. I am a father who kept showing up when everything told him to stop. And if you are listening to this right now, and you are sleeping in your car, or you are staring at a custody order that feels like a death sentence, or you are sitting in a supervised visit watching a stranger take notes while you try to be a dad, I need you to hear me. Do not quit. Get a lawyer. Get your evidence. Keep your mouth shut, and let the truth do the work. The system is not fair. I know that. But the system has a mechanism for truth. And if you load that mechanism with enough evidence, it will fire. If this story hit you the way it hit me to live it, subscribe to Dad's Verdict right now. This is episode 2, and the stories coming next are ones that will make your jaw hit the floor. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and leave me a comment telling me what you would have done in my situation, because I read every single one. And if you know a father who needs to hear this right now, send him this video, because nobody sent me one, and I could have used it. This has been Dad's Verdict. Court is adjourned.